Hello and welcome to the Flipping Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So I had a lot of questions about lending, so I'm going to talk about hard money lending. What does that mean? What do you need? What do you need it for? So a couple things. First, so just to recap, for me, for the first 4 years I was in this business, I closed on everything. I bought mostly at auction, and I got renovated every house. So I needed money. So I think the question was that hard money lending and private lenders. What's the difference and when do you need them? So every time I closed on a deal, I needed a hard money lender to finance a big portion of what I was buying. And then I had a private lender, really was an equity investor, who would sort of fill in that gap, and we would give them a profit split. It worked. It got me more and more deals every year I did it. But every time I closed the deal, it was very hard to write a big check to the lender for all the interest, and then I had to give a profit split to the equity investor. Now, again, having said that, after years of doing it and being good at it, I was able to move away from that. But you should understand that whatever you got to do to get your first deal, you should get it done. So I remember the first hard money lender I used, I paid 16%, I think 4 points or 5 points. Excuse me. So people will say that's crazy. But the truth is, it got me the deal and I made money on the deal. So people are so crazy particular about, what's the rate, how many points, who gives a crap? All that stuff should be irrelevant if the deal is a good deal. So pre-COVID, hard money lenders were giving 90% of the purchase price plus 100% of the construction. Today, you can get those numbers, but it's harder. Rates have come down lower. You're probably gonna have to put up 20% of the purchase price on a deal you want to close on. That means you're gonna need 20%, plus you're gonna need closing costs, plus you're gonna need money for monthly payments. You're also gonna need some money to get the contractor started. Rates have come down. So like for a while, 12% was pretty standard, and 11, 10. Now it's not uncommon to get hard money lenders even as low as 8%. But don't, again, if it's your first deal, you're gonna pay more. So understand that. You're gonna have to put up more money and you're gonna pay more. So don't be concerned. Again, don't be particular about the terms. If you have somebody that's going to lend you money to get a deal done and you're going to make a decent profit in New York, which is significantly higher than a lot of other places, on deals that I rehab, I think the average profit is like $70,000 to $80,000. So, and that's after I pay off a hard money lender if I use one. So I want you to think about what you're talking about. If the rate is 1% off, high, or 2% off, lower, it doesn't really make a big difference in the big picture. So if you have somebody if it's your first deal, find somebody willing to lend you money, even if the rate seems high, the points seem high, take it, get the deal done, and then you can establish a track record so you can get better rates, right? I have a line of credit with a lender now. They'll give me rates in the 8s, so with like 1 point. That's amazing. And I also have private money lenders that I use on certain times where they'll pay me, they'll charge me a little more, but they won't require payments during that period. So that's easier for my cash flow. Sometimes I'll do that. But the way to think about getting into a deal that you're going to have to close on, so a fix and flip deal, is you're going to probably at this point have to put around 20% of the purchase price down. You're going to need closing costs, which are significant in New York, could be easily $10,000. You're going to need some money to get the contractor started, although they'll pay that to you in arrears. Once some work is done, they'll give you back that money, and you're going to need money to make the monthly payments on it. On average, the average deal, I would say you're going to need about $100,000 to do. It sounds crazy, but that's what you need. So it doesn't have to be your money. You can get it from a private lender or an equity investor. After I did my first deal, I had no money left, so I had to go find people to give me that gap funding and use a hard money lender on it too. Like I said, it was tough, but it grew my business and it worked. This was 2013 and 14. So basically, some hard money lenders are going to run your credit, some won't. If you have a credit problem, you want to find a hard money lender that doesn't run your credit. The main thing the hard money lenders want to know is that the value of the property when it's done is going to be significantly higher than what they're lending. Right? Most will lend you about 65% of the after repaired value. Some of them require an appraisal, some don't. But they're going to come up with a value of what this property is worth when it's all fixed up, and then they're probably not going to lend you more than 60 or 65% of that value. So you need to make sure that your loan amount stays below that. The way it works with private equity investors, that kind of thing, they're going to want a split of the profits. So the best deals with a private lender are the ones you find in other parts of the country where you're buying a property for $60,000 and you're going to sell it for $120,000. There you can get a guy to write a check for the whole thing. If you could find a private lender or an equity investor here that will write you one check for the entire project, that's the best, because then you don't mind splitting the profits with him, even giving him 50% if he's going to fund the deal, 40%, 60%, whatever it is, it's fine. The problem is when you have both, like I said, you have a hard money lender that's taking interest, and then you have an equity investor you're splitting with, it gets more difficult. But do not let that discourage you. If that's the only way you can get a deal done to start, do it that way for sure. So basically, there are hard money lenders that don't care about your credit, that only care about the properties. A lot of them do want to see a track record. Some will lend you on your first deal, some won't. I do some hard money lending. I don't lend somebody's first deal. I want to see some track record, but I can recommend it to somebody who'll let them do it. If they do a deal or two, then I would lend. And that's really, I don't know what else you need to know about hard money lending, really. And there's a huge range of terms. Do not get caught up in the terms. I see people all the time. I have a guy who's willing to lend me the money, but it's 12%, and I heard I can get lower. Take the 12% and do it. I'm serious. The difference between borrowing the money at 12% and borrowing the money at 11% or even 10% is not that big a deal. And if you're a first-time flipper, do not get caught up on the terms. Don't. When I look back, I say I got screwed on that deal, but that deal got me started. And I made money on that deal, a lot of money on that deal. So don't get caught up on the terms. Find somebody who's willing to lend you. And if it's your first deal, understand you're going to probably have to put down more. You're probably going to pay more. That's just the way it goes. You're a bigger risk, obviously, to that lender because more first-time deals get walked away from than any others. Obviously, somebody does not know what they get into. They completely screwed up on the management of the construction. That's the number one thing people screw up on. They run out of money, or they just use a contractor who runs away with their money, or they just don't do what's needed to be done, and then they say, forget it, I'm out of here. So understand, on a first deal, even a second deal, it's harder to borrow. You're going to pay more. But eventually, once you establish a track record, 2-3 deals under your belt, it's much easier to get funding, and it's much easier to get better terms. So don't get hung up on that. I hope this was helpful. If you want my help, you can go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you like these videos, please click like. That thumbs up really helps my search engine optimization, my SEO. More people are seeing my videos because a lot more people are liking them. And keep the comments coming. This came from a recent comment. If you entered a comment a long time ago and I haven't responded, I will get to it eventually. Some of them are just harder for me to really figure out what you're asking, but I will get to every single comment. So keep the comments coming. If I just did a video on it, I'll just send you a link to it. And sometimes it's just a comment. I'll just respond to it. I'll reply to the comment. But if it's a topic that I want to cover, I'll do a video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it.